How's it going, guys? I am Matthias, and welcome to Reading Your Comments because it's Sunday, and that's what I do on Sunday. But what I do on Saturday is a web series called YouTube Genius, so go check that out. Today I'm reading your stories all about your most awkward experiences with a stranger. A question of the day for a future episode is, what are your most embarrassing moments in class? Because let's be honest, those videos get so many comments, seriously like over 10,000, 15,000 comments, and I only read like 30 or 40 of the comments. So there's clearly a lot that we need to read and go through because we need some laughs, don't we? Don't we? Let's begin. Awkward moment with a stranger? Basically every interaction I've ever had with one. I don't know how to socialize. Just 53 upvotes. What? There was this new kid in my class, and I usually look at hair to find out the gender. I went to say hi, and oops, I called him a she, and I walked away from him very awkwardly. Please don't hurt me. When I was a kid in high school, for a large part of high school, I had a very effeminate haircut. It was just long hair. I guess it wasn't effeminate, but it was long hair. From behind, my sister thought I was a girl. Well, you know how some people hold a stranger's hand or something because they think it's their parent? Well, I took this to the extreme. Me and my mom were going back to our car when I stumbled. At this moment in time, another woman was getting in her car. I climbed in the stranger's car. She just kind of stared at me. Then I opened the door and ran to my mother's car. The worst part is the stranger's car looked nothing like my mom's. I was 6. Oh, my grandpa did that once. He's like going into the car and he like gets into the car and like my grandpa, he's a pretty big guy and he like gets into the car and he like looks over and it's not my grandmother and he's like, ah! Can you imagine just a big man getting into your car? Every single time I'm in the school cafeteria and I'm in line, I see someone that looks like one of my friends, so I tapped them on the shoulder and was like, hey, and then I realized that person was not my friend at all. It was just some random dude. So for PE, my class went for an hour-long walk. Me and my friends ran 75% of the way, but being the stupid kids we danced the other 25% of the way, but we kind of forgot that we were in a public place, so we were linking arms and singing "We're Off to See the Wizard," etc., and this old couple was just staring us down. So one time I was walking around looking at stuff when something caught my attention, so I got separated from my family. Then I wanted to show them the thing, but I accidentally run towards them and trip, but the awkward part was I had a wedgie, FML. Not where I thought that was gonna go, let's be honest. I dropped a watermelon at Walmart and it broke in front of the store manager. One time my brother did something similar. He was like trying to impress my cousin and he's like, look how heavy this watermelon is, and he was like picking it up and throwing it and stuff like that, and then it slipped out of his hands clearly and dropped everywhere. My grandma's like, great, thanks. Now I gotta clean it all up. I was at a sleepover at my BFF's house. My friend, we'll call her Jen, decided to FaceTime her guy friend from her new school right as I'm changing into my bathing suit to go to the hot tub. So Jen walks over with her phone on call right as I decide to start yelling, my top is too tight, can you help? And continuing with, my boobs are stuck and ow, just hit my chest really hard, help, help, help. Jen started to laugh uncomfortably and finally told me, my guy friend is on a call, he just heard that whole thing. He hung up. Embarrassed, I told my other friend what happened. Apparently Jen called him back and he heard me retell the entire story. Well, one day I was with my mom. I was around 8 years old and was quite energetic. We were at the store for a long time and I got bored, so I decided to jump on the cart and hang on it. It turned out that there was a man just staring at me. It was really awkward. I was at McDonald's and the stranger walked up to me and my grandpa sat down at our table and started to tell her life story about every bad thing that ever happened to her, including her sexual assault and miscarriage. It was really awkward and strange. Whoa, that is weird. Super awkward. I was coming home from shopping on the bus and this lady sits next to me. I kind of thought she was my mom and I hugged her really hard. This is not your mom. Well, at least that lady got a hug. I mean, how can hugs hurt?
Well done, Draco. Well done.
So I was in a fast food restaurant. I looked away because I see my favorite soda on the vending machine. I look back and grab a random stranger's coat and say, Mom, 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 Mom! She turns around and I just feel a burst of embarrassment. She laughs and then looks at me with a blank face and says, I'm not your mommy. And then my real mom comes up and says, and my mom and them both laugh and it works out great, I think. It was my cousin's father's birthday and I really don't know him, so I guess he was kind of a stranger. But then when he blew out his candles, I asked how old he was and he says like 31 years old. Knowing how stupid this would sound, but end up saying it anyways, you're old. Super loud. Poor guy. You really burned him. So my bus was about to leave from school and I really had to use the bathroom. I got up on the bus and I figured since I'm the first stop and the bus stop is next to my house, I could hurry and make it home. I did not. I got to the front of my house and a few strangers walking across the street from my house saw me pee my pants and hurry inside because my mom was shopping and my dad was at work, so I was alone. I changed my pants, threw it in a load of laundry, and poof, all the evidence, except for this, was gone. I was in the store buying stuff with my mom and I didn't see her, so I kept walking, but then I realized I was holding a stranger's hand. Somehow she didn't know. Yup, that is life. There's a restaurant in my town that has a small bar in the front of the restaurant. My grandpa was there watching the Super Bowl and my mom said to go give him a hug, so I went to hug him first, and then I realized it was the wrong guy. Thankfully, it was my grandpa's friend, but I never met him before. I was so embarrassed that I ran to the table and hid my face behind a menu. While I was about 4 or 5, I was at the store with my dad and we were checking out with our items and closed my eyes and I wanted to go hug my dad and say, I love you. I hugged a complete stranger and he said, kid, I think your dad's over there. I've done that. I've held a stranger's hand and hugged strangers. It's just a part of being a kid when you're at a store. Yesterday, a friend told me that he would give me $10 if I danced in front of an old lady that was sitting next to me. I now have $10 in my pocket. Well, one time I was jamming out in an elevator, dancing and stuff. Well, I forgot that the door was glass, and as I went to the bottom floor, a person was waiting. That person got a really great view of my smexy Harlem Shake. The sad thing is, I missed my floor 2 stops ago, and the ride was very awkward. Oh man, so you had to just wait with them, like you couldn't even escape that awkward situation right after you did like the twerk. My mother and I were at the movie and we go to the bathroom beforehand. No one was there, and after I wash my hands and I go to dry them, as I do, I said, yes, Satan, dry my hands. My mother doesn't notice, and as we walk out, I say it again, and just as a random person goes to the bathroom, I hope she didn't notice. What? Yes, Satan, dry my hands? What? Because of the heat? What? My friend dared me to kiss my friend, so I walked up to a guy who had the same blue shirt as my friend and I kissed him. When I realized it wasn't my friend, I pulled away and the boy said, nice kiss. I see him every day in the hallway. It was awkward. Nice kiss. Oh no. I was waiting in line for something and there was a teenage boy in front of me. He was chewing gum annoyingly and I was going to lose my mind. I was like, hey kid, don't chew gum. It's very dangerous for you and it's a choking hazard. He was probably older than me. He looked at me and pointed out that I was chewing gum too, so I spit it out on the ground and I said, no, I'm not. He gave me a strange look the whole time I was in line. A stranger got in my car and legit tried to drive away. It took him a few seconds to realize his mistake and then he profusely apologized. Oh no. He gets in the car and there's like kids in the back seat. Oh no. No, no, no. That's horrible. I was walking through a park with my friend, then I noticed some little boys on a climbing frame. I didn't really care about them until I was smacked on the butt by a little boy I didn't know and the other little boys were laughing. They looked around 10 years old. I just angrily said, hey, and my friends started laughing too. Then their mom shouted at them, I never should have worn those leggings. It was the leggings. Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't the fact that those kids were jerks and had horrible parents. Jeez. One time I cut my hair really, really short. So one day I was at Walmart helping my grandma open a bag. Then this old lady started struggling with her bag. So I tried and it opens for her and she says, wow, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, I'm a girl. This was recent. Me and my mom, we were walking down the street to meet friends of ours, but on the way, a guy was walking his dog, walks by. I love dogs, so I asked if I could pet it. He says yes, so I pet it. Then I remembered that my mom was terrified of dogs, and when I turn around, she has her purse up saying, please don't eat me. That happened with a lot of people watching, but now they're staring at us. Guys, thanks for watching that video. Let me know down in the comments below of this video the question of the day for a future episode, which is, tell me some of your most embarrassing moments in class. High five.